Dr. Manjunath IAS, Don Bosco Institute of Technology, Department of Chemistry, Bangalore. So today I am going to give a demonstration followed by the explanation for the third important volumetric experiment, that is the determination or estimation of the calcium oxide in cement sample by using the rapid EDTA method. Right. Then here, why we have to perform this experiment? Because here in the cement sample also it's contained a maximum percentage of the calcium oxide and the remaining containing the aluminum oxide, ferrous oxide and also magnesium oxide. So here the calcium is abundantly available in the cement sample. So for the construction of the house and other purpose we are going to use the cement samples. So that is the reason we have to find out how much amount of the calcium oxide is present in the given cement sample. Right. So what is the purpose of using cement? Because here the cement is having a very good adhesive and cohesive properties. What is meant by adhesive properties? So how do you know? So here the adhesive property means which is having a capability to bind with the two dissimilar metals. Right. And here the cohesive properties means which is having a capacity to bind the two similar materials. So that is the difference between adhesive and cohesive property. So since the cement is only the substance having a both adhesive and cohesive property, and it is used to bind the various materials, either similar materials or the dissimilar materials. That's why here the cement is having a more advantageous, and also the calcium oxide plays a crucial role for the increasing the efficiency of this cement sample. So that's why we have to find out the how much percentage of the calcium oxide is present in the given cement solutions. So all of you are familiar with the cement sample, right? So it is a solid amorphous form. But here in chemistry lab, we are going to use a cement solution. Do you know how to prepare the cement solution? I think you don't know. So let me explain how to prepare the cement solutions. So here we have to take a known weight of the cement solution into a clean and washed beaker, followed by we have to add the concentrated hydrochloric acid till the cement solution, the cement is dissolved. So once it has been get dissolved, then we have to filter the solution. Then here the insoluble silica is filtered and the filtrate is used as a cement solution. Right. So by using the cement solution, we have to determine how much amount of the calcium oxide present in that cement solution by using the rapid EDTA method. Right. Then let me come for the steps involved for the determination of the calcium oxide. So again, similar like the previous experiments, this experiment also having two important steps. Namely, the first one is preparation of a standard solution of the disodium source of EDTA. Right. So in the total of this experiment also we have used the same EDTA solution. Then similar by using the same prepared EDTA solution, we can carry out this determination of the calcium oxide experiment also. So how do you know how to take a weight of the sample? Right. So here first you have to take a weight of the sample along with the weighing bottle. Then you have to take a weight of that. Then that will give you the W1. Then after that we have to transfer this EDTA crystals carefully into a clean and washed volumetric flask. Then we have to take a weight of the empty weighing bottle. Then the empty weighing bottle will give the W2 gram. Then the difference between W1 minus W2 is give the W gram. How much EDTA has taken for the preparation of standard solution of the disodium source of the EDTA. Then after taking weight of that, we need to add a 1 teaspoon of the ammonium hydroxide in order to increase the rate of dissolution of these disodium salts of EDTA crystals. Right. Then the second step is the determination of calcium oxide. Right. That is our main task. Then here I have to do the titration. So after preparing these disodium salts, we have to transfer this the prepared EDTA to the clean and washed burette after rinsing the burette thoroughly with the prepared EDTA solution. Then coming for this titration. Then here as I told, in the burette we have to fill the prepared disodium sulfur EDTA standard solution. Then followed by in the conical flask we have to pipette out 25 ml of the cement solution, and followed by we need to add a mixture of 5 ml sodium hydroxide and diethyl amine and the glycerol into a reaction mixture containing a cement solution. Right? Why we need to add this one test of this sodium hydroxide? Because here in addition to this calcium oxide, some other magnesium ions also may be present. Right? So once we add this sodium hydroxide into that, then that will react with the magnesium ions, then that will lead to the formation of the magnesium hydroxide. So here the main role of this sodium hydroxide is here in order to avoid the interference of the magnesium ions. Then here the diethyl amine is used as a buffer solution. So in order to maintain the constant pH, that is in the range of 10 to 12, we are going to use the diethyl amine. Then we are not to get the sharp end point, we are going to add the glycerol. So here individually we are not going to add the 5 ml of the respective chemical substance. Instead of that, together we are adding a one test tube of mixture of the sodium hydroxide, diethyl amine and sodium hydroxide in order to determine the amount of calcium oxide by using the EDTA method. Then after adding this mixture, we need to add one drop of the pattern and readers indicator. So here instead of heliochrome black tea, we are going to use the pattern and readers indicator, because here we are going to maintain the pH that is 12 to 14, but in case of total hardness we are going to maintain the pH 10 only. So that's what here we need to add the indicator, that is pattern and readers indicator, and the end point is winded to the clear blue. Right? So similar like the previous experiment, here also the end point is the winded to the clear blue. So once you perform the experiment, then here once you have taken the solution, you have titrated against this reaction mixture with the disodium sulfur EDTA taken in the burette. Then so once you got the end point, you have to stop doing the experiment. You have to note down the reading. Right? Whatever it may be, whatever value you got, you have to note down. Similarly, I have taken example 9. Right? So if you get a 9, then you have to note down that value. Then final reading minus initial reading. So almost it will be remain same. Then you have to continue the titration till 2 to 3 trials in order to get a concordant values, and for each trial you have to take a sign from the teacher. Then here this is all about the theory involved in the experiment, followed by the procedure for the experiment. Then let me explain about the demonstration for this experiment in the lab. So here in this experiment, again before going to start the experiment, we have to thoroughly wash all the glass apparatus required for the experiment. So I hope in this third experiment, volumetric experiment, all of you should familiar with the apparatus like a pipette and conical flask, and followed by volumetric flask. Then here the chemicals required for the experiment is, as I told, it requires a mixture of sodium hydroxide, diethylamine and the glycerol, followed by is a pattern and readers indicator in order to find out the end point, and also for the preparation of the standard solution we are going to add one test tube of the ammonium hydroxide solution. Right? Then here similar like the previous experiment, we have to take a empty volumetric flask along with this funnel. We have to go near the weighing balance. In the first experiment already I showed how to take a weight of the crystals and how to transfer the crystals into a clean and washed volumetric flask. Right? Then here we have to take a weight of that. Then here we have to make up the solution by using the double distilled water. Then once the make up solution lower limit is coincident with the mark, then it is said to be a standard solution. So after preparing the standard solution, so already I have transferred the prepared the disodium salts of PETA solution into a clean and washed burette. Then the next step is we have to do the titrations. So how to do the titrations? So here, as I told, we are going to prepare the cement solution. So this is the cement solution which is used for the experiment. So how to prepare the cement solution? So that is by taking a known weight of the cement sample into a clean and washed beaker, and we need to add a concentrated hydrochloric acid till all the cement sample get dissolved. Once it get dissolved, we have to filter the solution. Then insoluble silica will be filtrated, and the filtrate will be the pure solution, will be the cement solution. So this is the procedure how to prepare the cement solution. So this work is already done by our instructor Kumar sir. Then let me explain the how to determine the calcium oxide in the cement sample by using this chemical substances. Then first thing is we have to wash the conical flask, then followed by we have to pipette out 25 ml of the cement solution into a clean and washed conical flask. So here maybe a few drops are present at the tip of this pipette. So we have to give a gentle touch to the bottom of the conical flask like this. Then we have to remove the pipette. We should not blow the pipette like this, right? So we should give a gentle touch to the bottom of this conical flask. So this is the containing the calcium oxide cement containing cement solution. Then here we need to add a mixture of 4 normal sodium hydroxide, diethylamine and glycerol, because the sodium hydroxide will act as a masking agent. It will avoid the interference of the magnesium ions. Then diethylamine is used as a buffer solution in order to maintain the constant pH in the range of 12 to 14. Then the third one is glycerol. In order to get a sharp end point, we are going to use the sodium glycerol, right? So that's what these three chemicals are very important for this the preparation the determination of the calcium oxide in cement sample. Then here after addition of this mixture of the sodium hydroxide, then here we have to add a pinch of pattern and radius indicator. So here after addition of this pattern and radius indicator, so here we can see this the wine red color. Then this solution should be treated against with the PETA solution filled in the burette by adding drop by drop of this ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid by using this burette, right? So here we have the end point is wine red to the clear blue. So here in almost near to the end point, then after addition of 1 drop of this here, the color is changes from wine red to the clear blue. So here the blue color once you got, then you have to stop addition of the ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. Then note down the reading. So that is the 9, right? So note down the reading in the observation or manual. Then repeat the titration 2 to 3 trials, and for each trial you have to take sign from the teacher. Then you have to go for the calculation. But here, so as I told yesterday, so why it has been color changed from violet to the clear blue? Because again here the cement solution also contains the calcium ions. Then here this pattern and readers indicator may react with the calcium ions present in the cement solution. Then that will lead to the formation of the wine red color. Then once the same solution is treated against with the ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid taken in the burette, then ETA is react with the calcium oxide unreacted calcium ions present in the solution, followed by that will breaks the metal ion indicator. Then it gives the original color of the indicator, that is clear blue. So once you got this one, you have to stop doing the experiment. Then you have to go for the calculation. Let me explain the calculation part. So here, after performing the experiment, we have to go for the calculations. Once you got the sign from the teacher, then the teacher will say you have to go for the calculation. Then you have to come and do the calculation. So all the calculation part is given in the manual. Please go through the manual once for the calculation and for complete experimental procedure followed by Viva questions. Right. Then here in the calculation part, here we have to find out the final amount of the calcium oxide in the given semen sample by using this following equation. That is M into V of the cement solution, that is equal to M into V of the sodium source of EDTA. Right. So similar kind of the calculation we have done for the previous experiment also. Right. So here we have to rearrange the equation because here we need to find out the molarity of the cement solution. So here we have to know the molarity of the disodium salts of EDTA, and the volume is consumed by the burette reading. So that is 9 ml. Then here the volume of cement solution is how much you have to prepare it out. So here how much you prepare it out? 25 ml. Right. Then here we have to find out how to calculate the molarity of the disodium salts of EDTA. That is, you have to take a weight of this EDTA solution into the 4 divided by molecular weight of the sodium salts of EDTA, which gives the molarity of the disodium salts of EDTA, similar like the previous experiment. So that is 0.0280. So here the weight of EDTA crystals taken for the experiment is 2.613. That is 2.613 into 4 divided by the molecular weight is, that is 372.24. That is 0.020280 is the molecular weight of EDTA. Then here once you got the molecular weight of the EDTA, then molarity of the EDTA, then you have to substitute the molarity of the EDTA in the equation, that is 0.0280 into 9. That is the burette reading. That is volume of sodium salts of EDTA consumed for the determination of the calcium oxide. Then here you may get a same value in the tabular column, or you may not get a same value. So if you get a 3 different values, we should take an average of all the 3 trials. Or else if you got a same value for all the trials, then you can consider it as a 9 only. Got it? Then you have to substitute in this equation. Then you will get the molarity of EDTA solution, that is 0.1008. Then here we have to calculate the amount of calcium oxide present in 1000 ml, so that we have to multiply the molarity of cement solution with the molecular weight of the calcium oxide, that is 56. Then you will get a 0.564 gram is required for the preparation of the 1000 ml of the calcium oxide. Then here we have to find out the percentage of the calcium oxide, so that we have to write a equation, that is, so B into 100 divided by W dash. So here the B is the 0.564 and 100 is, here we have to converting into the percentage. Then here the W dash is the weight of the cement sample taken for the preparation of the calcium oxide. So here in this experiment, we have taken 1.1 gram of the cement solution for the preparing the calcium oxide cement sample. So that here after substituting all these values, then you will get a percentage, that is amount of calcium oxide present in the given solution, that is 50%. Then after this calculation, we have to write the result, that is here the first point is molarity of EDTA is 0.1008 and the percentage of calcium oxide in the given cement solution is 50%. So after written the result, we have to take sign from the faculty. Then once you got sign from the faculty or teacher, we have to write the record book for the same experiment. Thank you.